You've been watching for months as your hairline slowly retreats. Every morning in front of the mirror, you go over that line at the front of your scalp, the one that used to sit further forward and now pulls back a little more every time you look. And at some point, someone told you the sentence that does the most damage of all. It's genetic, there's nothing you can do. Either that or you're on minoxidil for life. Today, I, Andrew Bennett, am going to prove to you that this sentence is a lie, not a half-truth, a lie, because your hair isn't falling out just because of your genes. It's falling out because of something that's happening on your scalp right now, something nobody has ever explained to you clearly, and something you can start reversing this very week without spending a fortune and without chaining yourself to a product you have to use forever. Stick with me until the end, because what I'm about to tell you completely changes the way you're going to see your own hair loss from today onward. But before I talk to you about the oil, before I give you the remedy, I need you to understand one thing, and I'm asking you not to skip this part, because if you don't understand it, no remedy in the world is going to work for you. You'll apply the oil, you won't see results, and you'll think it doesn't work, when the real problem was that you were missing this foundation. So give me 2 minutes of your attention, because this changes everything. Most people believe that hair falls out from the outside, that it's about the shampoo you use, the hardness of your water, bad luck, or what you inherited from your father or your grandfather. The reality is that the battle for your hair isn't fought at the surface. It's fought beneath the skin, in a tiny structure called the hair follicle. Each of your hairs is born from a follicle, and that follicle is like the root of a plant. If the root is healthy, the plant grows strong. If the root weakens, the plant withers, no matter how much you water the leaves. And the great enemy of that root, the silent enemy almost nobody mentions, has a name: chronic inflammation. Let's understand what this is, because it's the key to everything. Your scalp isn't just the skin on your head. It's a living ecosystem. It has glands that produce the natural oil that protects it. It has a microbiota of bacteria and fungi that keep it balanced. And it has a protective barrier. When that barrier gets damaged by stress, by aggressive products, by water that's too hot, by 1,000 small daily aggressions, the door opens for inflammation. And when the follicle lives surrounded by inflammation continuously, month after month, year after year, something serious happens. The flow of blood that feeds it drops. Think of it this way. That follicle needs blood to live, just like you need to breathe. Blood carries oxygen and nutrients to it. When inflammation narrows the vessels around the follicle, less blood arrives. Less blood means less oxygen, and less oxygen means fewer nutrients reaching the root. And a poorly nourished follicle doesn't die all at once. It does something worse. It shrinks. It starts producing hairs that are thinner and thinner, shorter, more fragile, lighter in color. This process is called miniaturization, and it's exactly what's happening right now at your temples. It's not that hair disappears from one day to the next. It's that the follicle is slowly shutting down, producing a weaker hair each time, until one day it stops producing altogether. And here comes the most important part of the whole video, the one almost nobody tells you, and the one that will give you hope. A miniaturized follicle is not a dead follicle. It's weakened, it's asleep, it's suffocated by inflammation and lack of blood flow. And then nandendiur anendents. But it's not dead, and that means that in many cases, this process can be stopped and even reversed. The condition is only one. You have to act before that follicle gives up completely. That's why whoever acts early keeps far more hair than whoever waits for the bald patch to fully form. Now, where does minoxidil fit into all of this? Minoxidil does part of the job. It forces circulation, brings more blood to the area, and that's why it works for many people for a while. But it has 3 problems that nobody tells you about in the ad. The first, the day you stop, all the hair you gained falls out at once within weeks. It ties you down for life. The second, for a significant portion of users, it irritates the scalp, it itches, it turns red, it flakes, and that's the last thing an already inflamed scalp needs. And the third, it attacks the symptom, the lack of blood flow, but doesn't touch the underlying cause, which is inflammation. It's like taking a pill for a headache without asking yourself why your head hurts. That's why today I'm going to show you another path, one that goes straight to the cause, calming that inflammation and nourishing the follicle instead of just forcing it. A path that costs less than $10 and doesn't tie you to anything. And before we continue, let me tell you something quick but important. Everything I'm explaining here is the foundation, the why, but the complete method with the exact amounts, the mixtures depending on your hair type, and the 4-week step-by-step routine so you don't have to improvise anything. I've put it all together in a free guide. You'll find it in the description of this video and also in the first pinned comment down there. Download it now because you're going to need it to properly apply everything that comes next. And keep watching because the important part is coming up. What exactly is this oil and why does it really work? The oil I'm talking about is castor oil. Yes, That humble oil you've probably seen 1,000 times at the supermarket or the pharmacy for less than $10, and that you might even have forgotten in some drawer somewhere. It seems too simple, too cheap to do anything, and precisely because of that, almost nobody uses it correctly, and almost nobody gives it a real chance. But its secret lies in one specific component that makes it special, a fatty acid called ricinoleic acid. And this acid has a property that connects to everything we've just explained. It's anti-inflammatory. Remember what the number one enemy of your follicle was? Exactly. Inflammation. Well, ricinoleic acid helps calm that irritated and inflamed scalp. And when inflammation drops, a beautiful chain reaction happens. The blood vessels relax, blood flows normally again, oxygen and nutrients reach the root once more, and the follicle that was suffocating starts breathing again, starts regaining strength little by little. But castor oil doesn't only reduce inflammation. It's rich in vitamin E, a natural antioxidant that protects the follicles from damage. And it contains fatty acids and minerals that directly nourish the hair fiber, strengthening it from within and sealing in hydration. That stops the breakage that makes you see your hair getting thinner and sparser. But be careful, because here's where the vast majority of people get it wrong, don't see results, and then go around saying castor oil doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't work, it's that they're using it wrong. There are 3 mistakes you absolutely have to avoid, and I'm going to walk you through them one by one. The first mistake, the most common of all, is using too much. Castor oil is very, very thick, almost like syrup. Many people think that the more they apply, the better, and they soak half their head. Wrong. 1 small tablespoon, well distributed across the scalp, is more than enough. Applying more won't give you more results. All you'll achieve is that afterward it takes twice as long to wash out, and you end up frustrated. Less is more with this oil. The second mistake, not diluting it when your hair needs it. If you have fine hair or tend to have an oily scalp, applying pure castor oil is going to weigh everything down and feel heavy. The solution is very simple. Mix it with a lighter oil, what's called a carrier oil. The best one for this is jojoba oil because its composition closely resembles your scalp's natural sebum, so it helps balance it instead of saturating it. An easy proportion to remember, 1 part castor oil to 2 parts jojoba. And if you really want to boost the mixture, add 2 or 3 drops of rosemary essential oil. Rosemary is one of the very few natural ingredients backed by serious studies, and those studies suggest it stimulates scalp circulation in a way comparable to some conventional treatments. It's the perfect complement. And the third mistake, which for me is the most important of all, is not massaging. Many people put on the oil, leave it sitting there, and that's it. And that way it does almost nothing. The massage is not optional, it's literally half of the treatment. When you massage your scalp with your fingertips, never with your nails, in gentle circles, you're doing 2 things at once. First, you're helping the oil actually penetrate instead of just sitting on the surface. And second, and this is the most powerful part, the massage itself activates circulation in the area on its own. In other words, the massage does exactly what we were looking for, bringing more blood, more oxygen, and more nutrients to the sleeping follicle to wake it up. 5 to 10 minutes of massage, focusing on the temples and the crown, which are the areas where hair loss shows the most. Alright, you now know the 3 mistakes. Let's put it all together in a clear, step-by-step routine so you can start tonight, with no doubts. Step 1. Do it at night on a dry scalp. Prepare your mixture, pure castor oil if your hair is thick, or castor with jojoba and rosemary if it's fine or oily. Step 2. Part your hair into sections and apply the mixture directly onto the scalp, not so much on the hair itself, spreading it over the areas where you've lost the most density. Step 3. Massage with your fingertips for 5 to 10 minutes in gentle circles. Take this step seriously. It's the one that does the most work. Step 4. Let the oil act for at least 1 hour, or overnight if you protect your pillow with an old towel to keep from staining it. Step 5. The next morning, wash with a mild shampoo, sulfate-free if possible, and be ready to lather twice because castor oil is thick and sometimes hard to fully remove. And the ideal frequency for this whole routine, 2 or 3 times a week, not less, because you wouldn't give it consistency, and not more, because you don't need to saturate your scalp. And now the question I know you're asking yourself, okay, but how long until I see something? And here I'm going to be completely honest with you, because honesty is exactly what will make this really work for you and not have you abandon it after 2 weeks. In the first weeks, you're not going to see new hair. Don't let anyone lie to you about that. What you will start to notice in that first month is something equally important. You'll notice your scalp is less irritated, less tight, less reactive. You'll notice your hair feels stronger to the touch, and above all, you'll see less hair falling in the shower and less on the brush. That's the first signal, the signal that inflammation is going down and that the deterioration process is being stopped. From the second or third month onward, if you've been consistent, that's when the beautiful part begins. That's when many people start to see those fine, short little hairs poking out in the areas that were weakened. They're called baby hairs. They're follicles that were sleeping and are coming back to activity. And from there, month after month, overall density improves. It's not overnight magic, it's biology. And biology needs only one thing that money can't buy: consistency. But every week you apply this routine, you're investing in the follicles you still have alive, and that always pays off. Before you apply anything, let me quickly debunk 3 myths circulating out there that can waste your time. Myth number 1, washing your hair every day makes it cleaner and healthier. False. Washing it too often strips away the natural protective oil and forces your scalp to produce even more sebum, entering a vicious cycle that irritates it. Myth number 2, expensive products are always better. False. Effectiveness lies in the active ingredients, not in the price or how pretty the bottle looks. You have the proof in an oil that costs less than $10. And myth number 3, if I already have receding temples, there's nothing to be done. False. And this is the most damaging one of all. As long as the follicle is still alive, even if it's weak and miniaturized, there's room to improve. What you can't do is wait, because time does play against you. And this brings me to the most important message I want you to take away from today's video. Action is everything. The follicle can hold on in a weakened state for a long time before completely giving up, months, sometimes years. That's why, by the time you finally see the receding hairline clearly marked in the mirror, the process has already been happening underneath for a long time. The damage started before you saw it, and for that very reason, the sooner you start taking care of that scalp, the more hair you'll keep a year from now, 2 years, 5 years. The best time to have started was months ago. The second best time is tonight. Let's do a quick recap so you have everything clear and can start today. 1. The enemy of your hair isn't just your genes. It's the chronic inflammation of the follicle. 2. Castor oil, thanks to its ricinoleic acid, helps calm that inflammation and nourish the root. 3. Use it in moderation, 1 tablespoon is enough, and dilute it with jojoba and rosemary if your hair is fine or oily. 4. The 5 to 10 minute massage is not optional, it's half the treatment. 5. 2 or 3 times a week with consistency. The first results, less shedding, arrive in weeks, and new hair in months. You have this entire routine detailed, with exact amounts and a complete 4-week calendar, so you don't have to think about anything, in the free guide I've left in the description and in the pinned comment. Download it, follow it step by step, and give your hair the real chance that lifelong minoxidil is never going to give it. If this video opened your eyes, give it a like, because with that, you help YouTube show it to more people who are right now on the verge of giving up on their hair without knowing they still have options. And subscribe to the channel, because in the next video, I'm going to tell you the mistake almost everyone makes when washing their hair. A mistake that's accelerating hair loss more than anything else, and that you're probably making too every time you step into the shower. You won't want to miss it. See you in the next one. Take care of your root, and your hair will give it back to you.